And I think we are live.
You are
So,
live.
welcome, welcome people to my first ever live stream. And I'm joined with the At a Time podcast. Thank you very much for coming on. And yeah, hope I can get you on maybe somewhere in the near future again.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on. You know, on your platform, and really want to be supportive, and yeah, man. Like I've said before, you look like you have a promising future, and in this type of platform, very knowledgeable. Anyone who's watching this, tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell anyone you know, tell the stranger next door to you, if they're soccer fans, football fans, to watch Coach's Corner.
Uh, Thank you, mate. Thank you. And your channel is also great. I tune in when I can. Then I watch a few of your videos. It's really great. So I'm gonna link his channel and his Twitter and Instagram in the comment section and in the description while we are busy talking. But first, give me your thoughts on before we get to the Chelsea game, the Liverpool versus Manchester City game. I don't know if you watched it.
I will. I'll be honest. Just I did watch some of it. I had to hear most of it because I was at work. But from what I've been listening to, when I saw the lineups, the highlights, um, when people see the 3-2 score, if they didn't see the whole thing, it wasn't as close. At least to my opinion, it wasn't as close to what it showed. And also, Liverpool should have ran away with it a little bit easier because of the lineup that Pep had, and again, Pep's decisions on tinkering and messing with the lineup. I know he had to play without Kevin De Bruyne and Walker because of injuries from Atletico Madrid, which might have been a blessing for Liverpool, but Liverpool are just going at 120,000%. They are not letting up. They are going for that quadruple as if their lives depended on it. And I got to give to Liverpool's greatest player, Zach Steffen, the American hero, um,
Oh,
trying to pull his best Ederson impression and just did not do it right. But um, yeah, Liverpool just didn't take their foot off the gas. Pretty even on probably in the last 15 minutes, and then when Man City had a little bit of life showing, but too little, too late. Now, had Stefan not made that mistake at the foot with the foot at his ball, the ball at his foot, um, it might have gone to penalties, but I don't think it should have. I think Liverpool were the better team at the end of the day.
is what I took from that game is there was no, it wasn't like dominance like Liverpool overran them. It was
Hmm.
just like Liverpool. They didn't hold that high line of usual. Like Trent was mostly in the final third of Liverpool, so he wasn't there. But yeah, so it was for me. It was domination, but not like possession or territory wise. But it is just small mistakes that cost City the game for me. If City didn't make so little errors, and I gotta say, Pep is a fraud because he can't unless he has 100 and he has the full squad available. He's got the right personalities. If he doesn't have personalities like Klopp did last season with all his injuries, I think imagine Pep with all those injuries,
Yeah.
what he would do. And even Tuchel, he manages everything better. Just imagine if Pep needed to go through the Lukaku situation, the ownership, the injuries to Chilwell and Rhys James that gives away your whole game plan. So I gotta say, Pep. I don't think he can handle the stress. So yeah.
I mean, I 100% agree. And people always want to point out that Pep always has a team for the ages, or no matter where he goes, and that's true because his name does attract um, attention of players, to like let me like be taught under one of the best managers of recent times. The thing is that he hasn't built a team on his own like Klopp had to do at Liverpool with a hand tied behind his back, because the main thing was that if it wasn't for the Coutinho sale and I think one more, I can't remember who another player was, but something to financially support, the buying of Van Dijk, Salah, and then they just saw like what he can do at Dortmund. Pep had, money just given to him, no matter where you go, Bayern, Man City, and then, of course, what he had to build at Barcelona. Other than that, that's why I'm not a big supporter of Pep Guardiola. And Tuchel, if this man doesn't win manager of the century, because this man has to, like you said it, the injuries of our two most key players, the wingbacks of Chilwell and Reece James, the ownership problems, being hammered by the media of the questions that he has nothing to do about Roman Abramovich, and then also a lot of people forget that around November, December, were having coronavirus issues throughout the month, and our busiest month, in my opinion, because almost like there was a game like every like 4 days, and that
Yes.
really set us back.
Yes, but that's enough of the Liverpool game. But a quick question: do you think Liverpool can do the quad?
Um,
And
I
how
w-
many trophies do you think City will get?
um I want to say that just because Chelsea is gonna have to play them in the FA Cup, I don't want to say they're gonna go for the quadruple. I wouldn't be surprised. Now the one that makes me question more than anything is most likely the Premier League, because if the two schedules, if you look at Liverpool and City, Liverpool has the slightly tougher schedule. It's gonna take something of Manchester City to slip up, and I don't know what game can they really drop any points to. Um, but now the advantage is that Man City is not playing an FA Cup final, so they're more focused on Champions League and Premier League. So, and also, if you know me, even though I'm a Chelsea supporter, I hate Manchester City more than I hate Arsenal. So I rather Man City win nothing. Um, and I hope that Liverpool would win, maybe realistically the double, and that would be the Champions League and Premier League, if things go right.
Yes. But yeah, I can see City winning zero trophies. I can see it, and whenever I'm on the stream, or ever I just and City are playing or Liverpool are playing, I just say to them, City are winning zero trophies, and I think Liverpool will at least win a treble. I don't think they will win the treble
Right.
because Chelsea will win the FA Cup, win a treble. At least if they manage to knock out the Yellow Submarine.
And that's, people are sleeping on them, and right now it's they're looking very scary. Unai Emery has a force to be reckoned with, and Chelsea have dealt with them, and not easily, in the Super Cup. But we'll see. We'll see. I also thought Bayern Munich was going to be not so surprising, because they have the PSG syndrome. They're giants in a small pond, like a big sharks in a small
Yes.
pond.
Yes.
So, but yeah, you're right. The or not the treble, a treble. I got my head chewed off, saying like, well, technically it's a treble. It's like a treble with the asterisk, but it's a,
Yes.
it's a cup nonetheless.
But let's get into the the match that we both watched together. The Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. So first, what was your first thoughts of the lineup?
Um, I was a little worried that I mean, I saw what he was gonna do with Jorginho playing over the likes of maybe Ruben Loftus-Cheek or um maybe even Saul. I was hesitant to even have Conte as like in the starting 11 because Jorginho, if he's playing well, if he's is the days right for him, he can set the tempo and he can make passes and assists that probably not to the likes of Chess Fabregas, but he has the right touch. But I think Tuchel got it right. Did had the right idea to start Mendy over Kepa, even though we always considered Kepa as like our cup keeper, but it just looks like Mendy's gonna be playing every single game unless something bad goes happens. And as far as the top three was correct, I fully agree with that. The wingbacks, that was the thing that surprised me to have. I think he had Aspilicueta as the right wing back and James as the right center back. Um, because you can't really, take Crystal Palace's attack lightly with Zaha, Mateta, and Eze. They could run for days, not to the extent of Valverde or Vinicius, but um, it just looked like something was missing. But what did you think about the starting 11 for us?
I was just scared of Jorginho. I would have picked him, but I still would be scared because the counterattacks.
Right.
And a few times they almost scored him out, but he wasn't got that. And I was really surprised to see SB playing right wing back. But I guess Tuchel has decided let's don't maybe splash money on a right centre back and let's splash money on a right wing back maybe something like that. And now he's just trying to mold Rhys James in a more capable right wing back, which I think is great at it. So yeah. But the next question I have for you, after the first half, were you scared that Crystal Palace might sneak the win?
Um, I was a little bit on a 50-50 side where first half Chelsea were atrocious. They were not they were not producing like well passes mostly because Jorginho was turning over the ball so much in the midfield and almost costed us a quick counterattack goal. But it was a half of two toothless teams. Just no bite. It was. I think we only had like one shot on target, and I think so did they
Palace.
did. Yeah, I don't know why I can't talk this morning. Um, but yeah, it was if I'm not mistaken, that Mendy save was in the first half, so incredible stuff from him. But the one thing that I was more concerned with is that how are the substitutions going to affect the game because we already knew that what Kovacic being out, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which took the option of okay, let's take Jorginho out and put RLC there. Um, that took that option away, but I feel that RLC just when the second he got on, he in my opinion was a difference maker, not just because of the goal, but he did pull off um, tactics that you kind of would expect for Kovacic. So he did make up for the fact that he was playing with a hand tied behind his back, being that Jorginho was playing alongside him. So yeah, no, I wasn't too worried, but I was worried that like, is it gonna be off a costly mistake in the midfield? But that was why I kind of was worried, but not too much.
Yes. Only thing I was worried about is Crystal Palace being more up for it in the second half.
Hmm.
Because I just saw all the videos on Twitter and Instagram of their fans and I didn't think they would let their fans down so much because their performance wasn't that great. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah.
So I expected more from Palace in that second half. But Ryan Gunnis, I'm reading it on Twitter, posted afraid
Hmm.
um, how Ruben changed the game. So I'm just going to use what said. So Chelsea on paper started with a 3-4-2-1,
Right.
but um, he says we attacked kind of in a 3-2-5, where the wingbacks will join in it will stay up front in the final third kind of area.
Hmm.
And I think we saw that with Asby. And sometimes when Rudiger or Christensen have the ball, you can't see Marcus Alonso close to them. And so, and then and Palace defended using a 5-3-2. So they matched up our attackers and the wingbacks, and then they had a numerical advantage in midfield, which I said we needed to bring on another midfielder because I could see that there was a numerical advantage, but Tuchel found something else out. Uh, so and then so to in the first half, we saw Mount dropping a bit deeper
Hmm.
to help out there, which gave um, that new equal the midfield. But the I think Kunate is the DM. I'm not sure who was the DM.
The DM for
Palace.
it's Schlub, MacArthur, and Eze. At least that's what it says here. Kuyate is more of a right center back, but he did come up a bit, kind of to be
Yeah.
like almost another midfielder.
Okay,
Um,
but yeah, Schlapp or MacArthur,
hmm.
whoever was that last man in midfield,
Hmm.
um, he always shut down that passing lane, and you could see that because we couldn't find Mount in the first half, and the times we did, our attack really flowed.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, you're right. It was MacArthur, because he was almost surrounding like the top of the box where we can find Mount to start up, like um, I don't know if you like watch basketball much. I really don't, but it is almost like the point guard where like he's at the top of the arc, just trying to signal out, trying to like start up something. But MacArthur was all over him. So
Yes, and 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 with this Chelsea centre backs had a space. You saw Rudiger and Reece James push up, but they couldn't find anyone because everyone was man marked. And that's why and then they gave it to Jorginho and he loses the ball.
it takes
And
too long.
that was the frustrating thing. And let me just and yeah. But in the second half, Tuchel, well, you could see Ruben was kind of at right midfield role,
Hmm.
and then Mount would drop deep. So we had a lone six and a right midfield there in that space, and Mount dropping deep,
Hmm.
and that really created an overload on that right hand side, and that is where all the crosses came in from. And you could exactly see what Tuchel done.
Yeah, like that was the issue because and especially like we say that's more in the second half or in the first half because in the first half we were
In the
just
second
passing
half.
the,
Yeah,
oh yeah, because even for like most of the game up until like maybe, yeah, we were just passing the ball around. We couldn't. It's almost like I've
yeah,
never seen us try to reset so much. It was different, but and what kind of makes me nervous is that unless Liverpool sees this and they think, okay, so this is what we had to use against Chelsea because they have the players to match us.
Yeah. But I think that is where Pep system comes in because they got so many players. I think we almost like tiki taka football, no pass around, and then hopefully someone does something magical. But we don't got that players like Phil Foden, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. We don't have that players to just create something out of nothing. I
mm,
think so.
I
And
100% agree.
and then so yeah, that's a bit of the tactical analysis I got. But yeah, check his Twitter account also out. He posts lots of thread on there. So yeah.
Well, check him
But
out.
next thing I wanted to discuss is, are you confident that we can maybe beat Liverpool?
Um, yes, I if you look at us for this year, it's all come down to a draws, and it took a penalty shootout for them to finally beat us. But if we can beat them within the 90 minutes, like why not? I think we're capable of doing that. We should have beat them the first time go around. Just a Reece James red card, and then coming down from a penalty, from 1-0 down penalty. Um, of course, we don't have the same exact team we did because of Chilwell being missing, of course, but um, I think we're going to see a hungrier Chelsea team because this is the only thing we have left, at least in the sense of domestic silverware. Of course, we have the Club World Cup and the Super Cup already, set, but we have to win something that the likes of, we're not going to win the Premier League. We're out of the Champions League. We lost the Carabao Cup. This is our one and last chance. So maybe Liverpool are more focused on Champions League and the league itself. Um, that's where I think we might have the advantage. Player wise, I could see it going down pretty even. It seems our players started clicking at the right time. Like the likes of Alonso, even though he's known as not being the best left wing back, or at least fastest left-sided defender. But for some reason, whenever he plays Salah, he always finds a way to shut him down. And RLC has just looks like he's been rejuvenated. Because I think we can remember him during the Lampard time and during the recent times when he's playing in our midfield. But also, yeah, Werner just looks like he found his gear that was stuck at Leipzig, and now he's been playing better these last couple of weeks than he has his whole time at Chelsea. So maybe we woke up the monster just at the right time.
Yes, but I think on Marcus Alonso, I think he only turns up for the big games, that great occasion, because you saw against Real Madrid, the second leg he turned up, but he can't do it against Norwich 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. He can't, why he thinks, why should I turn up for this match? Doesn't mean anything.
He's like, I
Um,
got about a little bit of gas left. Should I make a trip to, or should I just use it like for the big trip over the weekend? So
yeah.
that's where you're right though, because if you did you see the Lille game? I think it was the second leg where I forgot who it was. But Alonso just got turned inside out, went to the ground. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna spend the next couple weeks trying to untwist this guy, ask him, are you okay? Do you need
Um,
help? But yeah, he can shut down one of the best wingers that is Salah, or he did great against. I think he was going against Valverde. It doesn't make sense. It's an
mm,
enigma.
yes, it is. But um, ca I'm gonna push you for a score prediction, early score prediction. What do you think is
for
gonna
Liverpool
happen?
for Liverpool Chelsea.
Yes.
Uh, I everything Tim is as a Chelsea fan saying 1-0, 1-0. I just have the bad feeling that it's going to go into extra time at 1-1, but 1-0, 1-0. Just we can keep the clean sheet. We can hold it together. We're ready for this.
I expect us to beat Liverpool because on Guni's stream, the first half there was a Liverpool fan saying, "We won't beat them because they scored 3 goals against us." I was like, "We did also against you,"
Yeah.
and and um, and we dominated them in every single game except that passage where they scored 2 goals at the bridge. That's the only time we didn't dominate them. So I'm going 2-0. Let's go 2-0.
I
At
like
least
it. I like it. I
uh,
like the confidence, and also remember that yeah, the 2-2 game was one goal came off a mistake from Shalaba where he just mistimed his header and gave an easy goal to Mane. Um, we have the team to beat them. Why not? Like let's do it. Let's just go for the FA Cup. Let's finally win the trophy that's eluded us for the past 2 years. You know, people were saying that Klopp is going for the trophy that Liverpool hasn't seen, I think, in 10 years, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they have had more drought than Spurs at that stage.
Ooh, that's oh no, that's a different type of drought. Oh man, but
Okay, let's make it Arsenal. Let's make it Arsenal.
oh god, that's okay. That's not as bad, but you know what? You know they do have an FA Cup under the belt from beating us. But like I said, Spurs. Oh, get them some water. They need for that drought. But I mean, I like it too. And who do you think the goals are coming from? In those two
um,
goals,
I think it will be Rudiger and Havertz.
I like it.
And if Mount keeps the same haircut until then, I think he will chip also with the goalie maybe.
Like I know we're sanctioned, but give the man 20 quid for a haircut or something. Just make sure he's bolder than Guni that game
Yes.
because you know what? When he stops doing this, yeah, he figured it
Mm.
out. I can focus on the game now, and it works in his favor. I mean, he looks terrible, but you know what? He's getting paid.
Yeah.
Um, you know, as you know, I've been told before, if you can't be ugly if you're rich, and this guy has money, so you know,
Yes.
yeah, I like it. I think Rudiger's gonna have a. I mean, he's gonna try his 50-meter shot again, but I do think you know Havertz is gonna score the game winner. It's like it's just meant for him. He's been on another level for us since we accepted that he's our main guy, not Lukaku.
Yes. But what do you think about Werner and Rudiger's long shots?
Um, well, Rudiger, like he's very ambitious. I don't know how true this is, but someone said that when he was younger, he was a striker. Could have been maybe like when he was very young, but I think he's just trying to live like you know his childhood days, if that's true. But it kind of reminds me like of a more ambitious David Luiz, where you would just see him just, or even I don't know. I don't know if you remember Alex from Chelsea, like I think in 2008, 2007 or something like that. Oh
No,
man, he
that
just
that's before my time. Oh,
oh
that's when I was born. That
oh
2007 to 2008. So
you know
I
what?
know about that. But tell me, oh,
Oh, well, all I gotta do is like if you want, look up highlights of I think it was Liverpool Chelsea, uh, Champions League quarterfinal. It was like the second leg. It was 4-4. The guy just scores like a free kick from like 30 meters out or 30. Yeah, uh, it's probably one of the games that made me to like a real Chelsea fan. Because even though I'm older, I didn't get into the sport until I was like maybe just like going to your age, maybe. You know, in America, it's either American football or basketball, and but
yes,
yeah, but I was like this sport has just been like, you know, I've never felt emotions like I do with this sport, and that's what made me to be a fan. But The long shot, Rudiger, he has it. He gets close every time. So I wouldn't take it away from him to, why not give a crack. As far as for Werner, I think I don't know how often does he take these long distance shots. I don't see it too often. I feel like he doesn't get into the box. He doesn't
but
try.
but just Werner on this overall play in the last few matches.
Oh. I don't know if Tuchel told him anything or said something to him, but he has just been on another. It looks like he wants to like stay because if a player who, even though, and I've bit my tongue on this where I said I gave up on this guy. I don't think he's right for Chelsea. He's said that the playing style is not for him. That he'd rather play the playing style of Germany. When he says that after beating San Marino or Israel, I'm like, congratulations, sir. But can you do that against Liverpool? Can you do that against Man City? Can you do that against? I don't know what clicked, but now he's just been as dangerous with the ball than off the ball, which I thought he thrived only in because he knows how to move alongside the defenses to make space for oncoming attack. He knows where to be, but he just doesn't know how to finish. Now it's just if he could have had 6 goals versus Southampton.
Yes.
He could have had one versus Crystal Palace. It just didn't fall right to him. He just might slightly mistimed his runs. Um, but I just think from now on we're going to see a Werner that's going to be more involved, either from like an assist or even having a shot on goal. And even if the keeper saves it, I think he's just going to be more of a threat. He's not going to be the pushover we've seen uh, before, like the last 2 weeks. But what do you think of Werner and Rudiger?
Um, I think after that first leg against Real Madrid, I think Tuchel told the players, okay, so you guys know how to defend. So if we play against like a tough team, or I see we can't play in a back four, because against in that second leg against Real Madrid, even against Southampton, we defended in a back four. Don't know if you saw at Reece James or whoever was no, Ruben was right wing back. He
Right.
wasn't in the right wing back spot. He was like that right midfielder, right wing there. He wasn't. So then I think the back line just shift, and
Mm-hmm.
Alonso would be the wing back or left back technically. Um, I think that gave just the attacking players, especially Werner, um, because we went so attacking with the free back. I think with the back four, it gave us a lot more space for Werner. I think Werner operated better, and I think he still operates better um, because he has that much space. Because it's not all on him. Like when they have the right wing backs, Alonso is close to him and Chilwell is always close to. So then it doesn't have that space to make a decision or decide. Okay, I see Chilwell, so I don't. Chilwell isn't there. He's back, so I can do what I can. So I
Mm.
think if he thrives under that, making his own decision. So yeah.
I mean, this is what you know this is why you're up here and I'm like just giving slight commentary
No.
because you're right. It is weird that like and I could be wrong that when we play in the back three defense with the wing backs, we kind of expect the wing backs and the wingers up top to like move hand in hand or like for the attacking wingers to come down to help defend. Which is why like Pulisic was like more it's better suited for that, but you are right, and it was a good call that even though the lineup said back three versus Madrid, I was like, but why does it look like we're playing with a back four? And maybe it's just a shift in when we transition. But when you're right, when Werner does have space, just like how he had in Germany, he plays in a different manner. And I think it's just comfortable. He doesn't feel as pressured, and maybe it's just like to the playing style he's more suited for. Because I'm not sure what the formations he had playing with Leipzig, but maybe it's just familiar. Um, and so maybe Tuchel finally found a way to utilize Werner without compromising our overall playing style, because unlike Arsenal, we have a playing identity. I think Spurs have found theirs too under Conte. So I'd rather do this, and then we can see what we can do with Werner if he stays, and I would like for him to stay now, because I don't think it's just a one-off thing or a one weekend thing where it's like, okay, he played good, now expect the real Werner to show up. Um, because now we can make room for when Lukaku leaves. I don't know how you feel about him, but that's the player I'm really done with. And
But I just think Lukaku should go to PSG. Although I think it is the wrong decision for his career, because Chelsea, we don't have a lot of politics, but there is things, there is trauma and there is pressure when you play for Chelsea. Imagine when you play for PSG. Neymar can't handle the pressure. Messi is struggling. So um, I think I think he's gonna walk. He's gonna, after the first training session, he's just gonna say, "Goodbye, guys. I want to go back to Inter," because I
just
think he needs a right habitat. And um, so yeah, and the thumbs up is, as he as he rides out of the PSG, he just sticks his thumb out and says,
yeah, the
"And
first thing you're gonna
right."
see in Paris is out of the plane. It's just a big thumb just sticking out, and then that's what they're signing for. It's not even the legs on the guy, or the big head he's got. It's just that thumb. I mean, but you're right though. It is he is bringing unnecessary drama. It really just disappointed me, because if you ask me, when we first got him off of what team did we Anderlecht, um I was a big fan. I was like, this guy's gonna be the future. This guy's gonna be a tank, a force to be reckoned with. And he just stinks it up in the Premier League. And I thought maybe he was like, okay, it was just he was young at Chelsea. He goes to Everton, plays okay there. Goes to Manchester United, it's all right. It's I think he even played under at West Brom, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah.
um, see, you have a better memory than me.
No, I when it came to us, I just searched his goal tally and where he played, so I know. And he did a video with Jamie Carragher. Is
Yeah.
where he, demonstrated if he pins a defender back and he can turn on you, you're not catching him. But
Oh no, no,
I don't
that's a big
think
body.
I don't think it's true. I think it is true, but if you put him against Ramos in training, I don't think he's gonna bully him so easily, or even Marquinhos.
Oh no, he's gonna mess him up. That's the thing. You need a bully thug type of center back to
Mm,
mark Lukaku, even
mm.
if it's a dirty hit. But if you have like a defender that looks like um, Alonso marking the likes of Lukaku with his body size, good luck. Good luck with that one.
Yes, but yeah. But the next thing I want to talk about is Chelsea versus Arsenal. What are your what are you thinking about Arsenal now that they, maybe, I think they haven't made top four, still not going to make top four. So yeah.
It's just a shame, because I have plenty of respect. Even though I might not talk like it, I have plenty of respect for Arsenal, just because I know, man, the rivalries, and this is when I say rivalry properly. And when I make that face with Jamie Carragher, it's because he's saying Liverpool, Manchester City is the greatest rivalry in EPL history. Since when? Jamie. I'm sorry. Just go back. I know he doesn't like Chelsea. He gets trauma from all those times with Drogba or anyone else before them. just
Mm.
destroys him. But nonetheless, I still think Arsenal, had they had a healthy team, they could have made top four. It's just when you have Tierney out for the rest of the season, that was the death blow. And then Partey missing from the midfield, which is securing that they might not even make um, European football for next season. But yeah, it's just out of their reach at this point. Technically, they still have a chance. It's mathematically they still have a chance. I just think it's going to go to Spurs at this point, and it hurts me to say that because I'm not a Spurs fan. But with saying that with those injuries and uh, we're playing at the Bridge this time, right? Or they're playing at the Emirates.
Yes, yes, at the bridge.
That actually kind of concerns me too because as of late, I've been wondering if Chelsea are a better away team than they are at home. But against a team like Arsenal, where they don't have a proper identity, they don't have a proper striker. Um, this is gonna be it should be an easy win for us as long as Kovacic, whatever injury he picked up from yesterday's game, if he's good enough to come back, I think yeah we should be running wild on them. And we could see the repeat of that 6-0 draw, 6-0 victory we seen when under Jose versus Wenger. But realistically, I mean, I'm gonna say 3-0. They're on a 3-game losing streak. I don't think they're gonna pick up the momentum versus us. Just get ready to see Chelsea attack Arsenal's left side. Which if that's the left side, that's gonna be the like more the likes of um, Mounts
Mount
or
Rhys James.
yeah, that's gonna be terrible for them.
Mm.
But yeah, first and foremost, I just want to make sure that Kovacic is good, or even if he can just be rested for most of the game and come in as a sub. But what are your predictions?
I think I listen a lot to League Anna and he speaks facts. With and I think imagine if Tuchel had £500 million. Imagine and he would create a dynasty at Chelsea. So yeah, I think, but I'm actually scared for this game. It's because we play Arsenal and Tottenham every time we play them. I am scared because I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna sit back, and I'm scared of that counter attack. I'm always scared against him. But I must say, I know I'm a Chelsea fan, but um, I like Tottenham more than Arsenal. I maybe
Mhm.
shouldn't be because of the rivalry, but um, I'm I don't go back into the history and all that, so I don't know what happened. That Tottenham and Chelsea are favorite rivals, but um, I started watching. I watched the FA Cup final. Chelsea
Mhm.
played Arsenal, and I that final I watched, and I watched the end day. But when lockdown came, I I just started getting into football, and yeah, I am now sitting with you, talking about football.
I mean, it's an honor, buddy. Really, like I'm learning so much from hearing you, and your like that's what I'm saying. Like you have knowledge that I could only wish of having like at your age. Like is when you get to my age, and that's years, so you're gonna regret like seeing my age at this point. Like but by the time you get to like even 10 years from now, it's I wouldn't be surprised if I see you at Sky Sports, commentating on the Chelsea games or even talking about European football. But
Mm.
I mean, and that's good. It's good to be realistic that it's as a Chelsea fan to be a little worried because you can't take any opposition lightly. We have to be realistic and see like what habits have we seen? What's the pattern? Does a team turn up whenever they see us on the schedule? Um, I just think there's just it's a depleted Arsenal, which just makes me a little more confident than usual because
Mm.
Arsenal do have a great team when they're healthy. Their manager could be taking a lot of flack for it. I'm not a big Arteta fan. Um, I would say you have Fraudiola and you have Farteta because he is the reason why he got the job is because of like, oh, do you know who worked for Guardiola? You heard of him? And it's I mean, I'm at the end it worked out for it because they turned down Conte, and you know, so we're gonna see how that turned out for them. But yeah, we do have more of a rivalry with Arsenal, and because Tottenham were not that great from around like when Arsenal and Chelsea were fighting top four. I even forgot Tottenham was a team for during those early times. I'm like, who's this Tottenham's? I call him, I mean, as a basketball fan, I call them the not San Antonio Spurs because what does it seem? But since they got Harry Kane, it was like a flip got switched, and then they added Son, and it was making something nice, but I just think the depleted Arsenal with no depth, which they should have signed players over the winter time, or January window, I should say, is now coming back to bite them in the butt because you have to think about if Lacazette got hurt. I mean, bad example because he's playing really badly right now. All they have is Nketiah. If Tierney gets hurt, now they had no plan B for when that happened because they were playing with Tavares, who is not ready. They're relying too much on their youngsters, and anyone who's blaming the young players for that team, I'm sorry, but you can't. They're there to learn. They're there to. You're just throwing them in the lines then, and some people would say like I forgot who said it. If you're good enough, you're old enough. So but here's the thing: how are they being taught properly? They're just being thrown. Okay, here you go. Now we expect you to carry a team to top four. Go. It's unrealistic.
Yes, pick up Luca. We're doing a show tomorrow. He's joining me tomorrow, and I'm joining being on his channel. So thank you for joining. But yeah, I think Arteta is not the manager because do you know when did Reece James and Mount and all the youngsters made their experience debut? Was it under Surrey
I think it was under
or Lampard?
Lampard. Lampard because once his time at Derby or Derby, I should say. I'm sorry. That's where he had the Mount come up. James came up. Sorry, I don't know what was going on with my burps. So, excuse me, but it was no. I don't think from Sarri's time. It was from Lampard.
But yeah, but I think our coaches are better at the youth level, so that really progressed them because of what they learned, and so because of all the experience I got at youth level, and I think that's a problem with guys like Saka and Emil Smith Rowe. They the academy and coaches are good, but they're not at the level of Chelsea. And I think if you um Arsenal players, they are medias. It is media there. So I think at Chelsea you have to follow rules and things to get in there because we know Chelsea standards are high to get into the first team. Then Arsenal because do you think Saka will make it at his age into our team? He will maybe be a bench player, but he
Yeah.
wouldn't start 3 games in a row. Maybe start against Norwich, he will start team. And if you then see potential, you then get him into the team more often. Or even, do you think Ramsdale gets in the team over Kepa?
Well, I mean, you're right with the whole Saka thing. He is over relied on, and I would like to have him on our squad, but he would not start for us. It's just because of his age and experience. But he'd be more of a starting for like a Carabao Cup or early
Mhm.
stages of FA Cup. But now Ramsdale over Kepa might not be popular, but I would say so just because for some reason, and I said this in the stream yesterday, you combine Kepa's footwork and calmness with Mendy's reactions, you would have a super keeper because it seems like one is missing the other. Now Ramsdale could be the perfect in between there, but it's just if Kepa doesn't get beat from like these wonder goals or even something that looks like a wonder goal because we've seen like the shots that he lets in, it's all like top 10 goals of the year candidates, which might not be his fault, but um, I think we just see him as more as the penalty taker or penalty keeper. Which, if I were to pick any player from that Arsenal team, I would say Ramsdale can be Mendy's backup, and or even have him be the cup player, have Mendy be the league player. But that's probably the only two. But going back to your point, yeah, it's if I were to pick anyone, Ramsdale, because he's been unbelievable. If it wasn't for Ramsdale, Arsenal would be bottom half the table.
Yes. Um, and I think it's just our standards are higher, even as Chelsea fans. If we finish second with three 3 points behind, we'll be proud and glad, but we will just be disappointed. We Arsenal fans, they will have a party for a week straight when they if they finish second. So yeah, but let's get into Chelsea. What are you expecting from the team?
As far as like for the rest of the season or in the future.
No, for the Arsenal game, just for the Arsenal
Oh,
game.
okay. I'm gonna keep it humble, and I'm gonna say 3-0. I know that's not a humble scoreline, but we have people saying expect a 6-0 win, expect a 5-0 win. I think 3-0 is more appropriate. Um, I mean, and I'm usually the one to say 3-1. I think they're at least gonna. I don't see any of them putting the threat up to us. And we saw what happened. I don't know if you saw the Southampton game. It's just those mistakes that their defenders make that give too much space, play a player on side when it's not necessary. It's just in shambles right now for what they're going through, and it's almost to the point where like I don't want to be happy seeing this. I just feel like someone help them. Give it. Can we loan out one of like? Can we loan out Reveiw to them for like a little bit? Something. It's.
It's
I
been too long. It's Dante is stopping now. It's like really when you're getting better now. It's been now a few years, but I just want to share quickly the table and then I want to see what you think because I know Manchester United with that win, if they get if they beat Liverpool or draw even and Tottenham lose on the weekend, Man United are in for a shout.
that's true. Um, like I said, it's gonna be who's gonna slip first. Liverpool or Manchester City. Now, this is why because I think Spurs and Manchester United and I think even West Ham uh, had to play Liverpool this season still in the next month. Let me see.
Mm,
So,
can you see the screen?
yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
Um,
So Manchester United and Tottenham have played the same amount of games and 3 point difference.
mhm.
Arsenal got the game in hand, which is against us, but they're also 3 points behind Tottenham. So, what do you think? Can and even West Ham, if they somehow maybe get 3 wins in a row, they may be in for a shout also. But what what do you think with looking at the table now and Manchester United so close to the top four?
Oh man, it's close because some of these teams has to still play each other. Like Arsenal versus Manchester United is in on the 23rd. You have Tottenham playing against Liverpool on the 7th of May. Uh, and look at that, they play Tottenham on the 7th of May, and then they play Arsenal on the 12th. So Liverpool's going to be playing spoilers for a lot of teams, but with Spurs being in the driver's seat right now, I it's close because the only 3 points separate fourth and sixth, and if you want to throw in West Ham in there, it's 5 points, which it's a shame because I believe they tied on the weekend over with
Yes,
Burnley.
against Miss Burnley.
Sean Dyche, man, it's a shame, but
Mm.
it and I would have liked to seen West Ham in there as for the top four, but I think they're more focused on the Europa uh,
Mm.
um, than anything. But right now, I don't see Tottenham slowing down as much. I know they had a bad scoreline on the weekend against two. Was it? Um, I don't know if you see expressions, but he called Brighton Munich, and I think rightfully so against the North London team
Yes.
because they have been scary. With that being said, I don't see Arsenal beating us. I don't. We're gonna beat Manchester United. Um, it's gonna really come down to the if Arsenal can beat Manchester United in the form that Ronaldo is looking like right now, because he's now at what 15 goals for the season.
She,
Uh,
they scored so much.
he scores hat. He doesn't score goals. He scores hat tricks because that's what it takes to take Manchester United out of the hole that they're in, and it's ridiculous. The man his age, and with I guess it's more he gets his powers from his looks than anything. But um, I just think Arsenal is just they just killed their hopes of seeing top four. Um, I they technically still in it, but that is going to go down to Spurs making it to top four in quite some time, or actually not quite some time, but um, it's just a shame because Arsenal fans are going to see this as an improvement and more of a as a we're in this spot out of circumstance because of our injuries, not because we're the lesser team. Uh, yeah, look at yeah, no. Arsenal's playing their two games against Tottenham and Manchester United. It's just they're all going to be hungrier for that spot than they are, and they have more talent. The only thing that gives me hope that Arsenal could beat Manchester United is that Harry Maguire's playing,
Yes, of course.
and it's a shame because I don't know what happened to him ever since he left Leicester, but yeah, top four is going to be Liverpool, City, Chelsea, and Spurs, and I'm so hoping that Liverpool can pull it off somehow. What about you?
Yes.
What do you think that fourth spot's going to?
Mm, yeah. Um, I think Arsenal have ruined their chances because um, I don't know. I think they like three. I think they almost like 3 points or a few points in wait as what I had last season. Is then and their losses are I think they're two losses away from being in on the same losses and points, or maybe not points. I think goals conceded. Yes, goal conceded. They almost have the same goal tally. Of course, they couldn't see it, and losses. Let's go back to last season. Arsenal have 13 losses. They now on
Yep.
11.
Yep.
They conceded how many? Conceded is
So right now they're at 37 conceded. So they're last year at 39.
39, and they are 61 last season. They ended on. They now on 40, 50, no, 45.
Right,
So,
they're actually at 54 right now.
oh, okay. So yeah, it's gonna. So they may end the season with less points, wins more losses, and more goals conceded. And then they will probably end six, and the fans will still say, "Hey, it is an improvement. We Arteta, the process. The only problem is we got injuries. Without Tierney, if Tierney was there, we would have won. If Lacazette scored more goals, we would have won." But I just want to get into stats. Mm. Yeah, the goals. Son is 3 goals behind Salah. I'm not gonna count Ronaldo because United also put so he may now score a hat trick, and then on the end of the season he will score maybe a hat trick at the last game. So yeah, do you think Son can catch Salah? Um,
Um, it's gonna be close. I mean, seeing that is interesting. Even more so that there's three Liverpool players in the top five, which is scary. But I it all depends on how Salah's doing, because ever since the African Cup of Nations, he just, I'm not saying he's been on a drought, but he has just hasn't been performing to the same level as he was, because I don't remember him scoring all that much as of late. Unless I'm forgetting as far as
no,
like for league play. But
no, he hasn't scored in a while because he didn't score in the league and not in the Champions League. So
I think just I think Mane is living in his head from those two back-to-back losses. But um, so if it continues like this, it might come down to the last day, and I think Son can actually catch up to Salah. I'll be very, very surprised, because this is the man that's supposed to be the best winger today, and or even one of the best attackers in Europe. But if Son can do it, and it looks like he's found his rhythm at under Conte, I won't be surprised. Um,
but, yeah, I think I would like Son to get it, and I don't know if he signed a 5-year contract. I think maybe he signed it. I'm not sure, but he needs to go to a bigger club. I would love him at Chelsea.
Welcome back.
Imagine him on the left instead of Werner, except the last couple of games, and then um, on the right we have maybe Kulusevski. We could have those two players, and then we have Havertz. Oh,
I mean,
what
that'd be beautiful.
a man can only dream.
I mean, if we only kept him, now he had, in order for him to be at this level, he had to have left Chelsea back in the day. But we can only wish what could have been, with the likes of having Salah. We had Kevin De Bruyne. We had Hazard. Um, but it's just, maybe it's just not meant to be. But would you really, with what he's asking for pay wise, would you want to have him?
I would if he was younger, but the only thing is he's 30, he's turning 30 this year or next year.
Mm.
So you don't know when the decline is on. That's the only thing. But yeah, I still think we I would still sign him even though his price is high. I think I The only thing why he is asking for so much pay is to convert that thing of he hasn't won a trophy, because I don't think if he has won trophy, a few trophies at Tottenham, I think he wouldn't ask so much, because the club has delivered him trophies, and he has that special place for Tottenham in his heart. You know
Oh
what I?
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
you're right. Um, I mean that's true. Like it's I just don't know. I rather that we look for like younger talent than
Mm,
splashing cash on established players, because I just have that uh, PTSD of like the likes of Lukaku, any striker that we sign, it just doesn't work out for us. If you ask me, and I've said this plenty of times, I swear our number 9 position or number 9 jersey is cursed. Except with the ever since Drogba left, we haven't had a good striker, with the exception of Costa. And
mm,
um, and it's just the thing. Like if we need a winger, I mean, I think we're set for a while, but if we were to sign anyone, um, there is a player from Frankfurt, who shined during the 2 games versus Barcelona. His name is Knopf. Um, he's labeled as a right winger. He played wing back in his. So if that's true, he's versatile like that. If you look at his price tag on a transfer market, he's only his value is only like 5.5 million, which, I mean, if we don't go for this player after what he did, I mean, if you need to watch like the highlights of him during Barcelona, he was dancing on everybody. He was a threat on both games. He scored an amazing goal in the first leg. These are the players that like I would like to have at Chelsea. Young, promising, not overrated. Not like I'm asking for 80 million. Like the likes of like Darwin Nunes, he's
mm,
amazing. But the fact that they're asking for 70 mil for him at that
mm.
age, um, maybe he just has better luck going to Liverpool. But even then, they already have the striker, or even Man City. But if Man City's not already set on Holland, um, uh, if we need to get an overpriced player, I would like that to be at the midfield with
Mm.
Chouameni. Uh, and it might be unpopular opinion. As much as I love Declan Rice, I would rather have Chouameni over Rice, because I can't justify $150 million or 150 million euros for that player.
Yes.
That is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe with the new owners, they would be willing to splash that money, but I'd rather use the price difference to fund the buying of either Basuma or Chouameni and Conde from Sevilla. Because if Ruger is true that he's leaving, I hope we do whatever we can to keep him. We
Mm.
need it. We need to resign him, extend his contract. Christensen's already out the door to Barcelona, so that's fine. Because we have a back three of Kunde, Rudiger, Silva, and then we have Shalaba as like rotating with one of them. Unbelievable things can happen, and then have a proper like Conte when he came in with Chelsea, because he hasn't been great as of late. With alongside Kovacic, Conor Gallagher, I mean, this Chelsea team can be a force to be reckoned with for the next coming years. It's just as long as we get the owner that we need.
Yes. I agree, but I still the only problem with Schumann is if they say okay, not 50 million or between 30 and 50 million, I think we should go Basuma maybe. I know clubs are reluctant to go for him because of his case with rape and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't go for him, who you got Ruben Neves from Wolves, who is doing great. You got if we this, and then overseas, there's also talent. If I don't have to think, I must not think about names. The
Mhm.
scout should already have them written down. But yeah, um, just one of the last points. Do you think Burnley will stay up?
Um, um, I would like them to because they are the team that can always escape. They just squeak by. The only thing is that if they do, that's going to be at the cost of Everton, and that's going to break my heart to see Everton relegated. I think for the first time ever in their history to be relegated. Um, so let me see because they do have a game at hand versus the other bottom two, but and then Everton has 2 games to play. Um, hmm. I won't be surprised if Burnley goes down. They showed that they're still fighting for points even without their manager. Everton, they're just pulling out enough results to. I mean, the Manchester United game was ridiculous. I still can't believe they won. But yeah, it's like picking like it's like who's my least favorite child in this one. This is gonna be tough. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna say that Burnley is gonna be relegated. As much as I would hate to see that happen. Well, what about you?
I think the players of Burnley are now they are going to fight for Sean Dyche. I think personally. Let me just fix the there.
Nice.
Um, so I think that's better. So yeah, I think they're gonna fight for it. Burnley players are gonna fight for Sean Dyche because I think they know, although they haven't been great, I think they know it was not fair, and I think Ben Me is I if he can get them out of relegation, I think he must retire and then and become a manager because boy to get them because what they were 4 points behind. If they 4 points behind, now they 3 points. 3 points is a lot in relegation because that's a win and a draw
Exactly.
that they need to pull off. So yeah, ju- thank you, Diego. He's a Crystal Palace fan.
Diego. Yeah, he is, man. He's a good best mod in the game today, man. It's been
Yes,
stated before. But it's tough. I mean, big shout out to that guy.
yes.
Thank you. It was a hard fought battle, Diego.
Mm. Yes, and thank you for tuning in. Um,
I'm not gonna lie, that one kind of throws me off a little bit. Everton players would want to prove a point, given that their manager Daesh was sacked.
I think he means Burnley players.
Yeah, I was like wondering, does he mean that Everton is proving a point or that Burnley's proving a point? But yeah, I mean, and that's the
Mm.
thing. I mean, when you think of manage, I mean, 10 years. I mean, maybe it's just because we've been spoiled with like rotating managers, especially as Chelsea fans, that we have not seen a manager stay longer than like 2 to 3. 3 years is a blessing in Chelsea's world. But when you think of like long term managers, Ferguson comes up, Wenger comes up, and yeah, Sean Dyche comes up. Might not have the most success, but thank you, Diego. Yeah,
Mm.
he meant Burnley, and
Yeah.
I really want to believe that they can do it. It'll be a Cinderella story for the ages if they
Mm.
do it without their manager. It just means that we're gonna have to see with Everton taking the loss on that one, Frank Lampard just again proving that he's just not ready for the Premier League.
I don't think he's a manager at this point. I think he should be a pundit because you saw Chelsea doesn't have anyone to represent him. Um, One former players are doing it when they Chelsea play in the Champions League and they in the studio. They represent us, but in the Premier League, there's really not anyone. So I would love him to be a pundit, the so he can because management is not for him.
Mm-mm.
I so yeah. I don't know what you think about.
I mean, I agree. I think the only pundits really we have, if anything, is Joe Cole and Michael Ballack.
Mm.
But I just don't. I think he just bit more than he can chew. Where like you look at Gerrard, he spent time at what Rangers, and we took him to an undefeated season, if I'm not correct.
You took over Villa.
And oh yeah, but yeah, he took over Villa after his time at Rangers.
Um,
Lampard hopped from Derby to Chelsea.
oh,
I mean, night and day. And I like the fact that he did with Everton. I think if anything, if they don't, if they're not too mad at him, stay with Everton for during the championship. See how far you can bring them. I think this team, if they do stick together, I mean, I don't know which players have a relegation clause. I think that's what it's called, where if a team is relegated, they have a right be to buy out their contract. Um, but if I don't know what I mean, unless they see the opportunity is all right. Lampard, thank you for your time. Get Daesh on the phone right now. Why not? But it's just a shame that it's just not meant for him. If anything, take it to MLS. Take it to some place where it's just the competition is more to your level as a manager. But if you're right, if
and
you go
and
ahead.
there isn't so much pressure
Right.
because I don't think in America they focus so much on the football slash soccer. um, while yeah, in Europe and in England especially, they it is if you're not a rugby or cricket fan, it's football. They don't have a fourth sport or anything.
Mhm. That's true. That's true. They don't really focus on it. And and that's the thing. He can just get shake a rough whatever corners he's rough around in where he's needs to be like corrected, be ready to go for Premier League maybe eventually. Who knows? I mean, even Wayne Rooney is being considered more of uh, in the Premier League as a manager because of what he's doing at Derby. And Diego, you are right, and and that's the thing. I can't think of a proper goal scorer for Burnley. Um, I would like to see Everton stay up. It would really pain me to see a team like Everton to be relegated, but and that's just how it goes sometimes. Um,
Yeah. Um, to get I mean, um, yeah, maybe, but I don't. Um, I don't think so because unless they get a miracle, because I don't. When last did Everton score even? And Man United, but besides Man United, when last did they score? I
um,
would like.
who was the game they lost to at 3-2? It was like Richarlison with two penalties, and but they still found a way to lose. And
Uh, Against Burnley. It was against
look
Burnley.
at that! Like, come on. And I just remember that
Um,
game because of I don't know if you watch Troops TV, but he has that one Everton fan that he threw out his TV. Like he
oh yeah.
like took it off his wall, threw it in. I'm like, it's. I mean, but I can imagine that pain. Like, but I mean, that's the thing. It's just it's like when they have the goals there, their defense just get this folds. They don't want to hold on to that lead, or either that, or Lampard doesn't know how to change up the tactic to play more defensive, maintain the lead, because they don't have bad defenders. I mean, let's just say Liverpool. Yeah, and it's gonna be a hard fought battle, Diego. That's scary. um, I know that Leicester game is gonna be a little closer than maybe expected.
The Leicester game, weekend. Was it midweek? No,
Um,
it's midweek. It's Wednesday.
this Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Southampton
Um,
games are Wednesday.
I was on. I can't remember what I predicted. I think I predicted. I might. I might have predicted a draw in that game. Um, but yeah. Uh, I've and Southampton Wolves, Watford, Burnley's next three. I think they should at least get. They might get 3 points against Watford.
Mm-hmm.
That's Southampton, maybe a draw. Wolves, I don't think they will get a point against Wolves, but Southampton, maybe a point. Watford, I think at least 3 points.
Which means that if things go as predicted, that means Burnley would have 4 points added on to, which makes them 29, and that'll be Everton at with a draw at 29 as well, with a game at hand. So it's gonna. I wonder who that game at hand's gonna be, but it's yeah. Go ahead.
If it isn't it the Leicester game, the game in hand.
Is that what it is? Because I thought Burnley was also playing midweek because
Oh no.
they play Southampton midweek on Thursday.
Oh, okay. So no, then it is. But yeah, any last thoughts you want to give on the FA Cup or the Premier League and what
Um,
you
what I think. Well, FA Cup, come on, Chelsea. Let's win it for Tuchel. Let's win it for. He's been through a lot this year. He's been through a lot these last couple months. Give him the cup. He's been missing some time. And then Liverpool, please don't let Manchester City win again in the Premier League. I'm tired of seeing Manchester City lift that trophy up. It's getting to the point where all my non-Premier League friends are considering, stupidly I might add, that England's becoming a farmers league because it's a one team show. Even though we had 4 teams involved in the Champions League final in recent time. So I mean, but and then Chelsea. Let's finish the season strong. Let's do what we can to win the FA and get ready for the summer when the new owner comes in. Anna, what about you?
No, I just hope. No, wait, let me say this of chess. Okay, so Chelsea gonna win the FA Cup. City gonna lose against Real Madrid in the Champions League, and then Villarreal versus and Liverpool gonna lose the semi-final against Villarreal, and for the Premier League, I, I am Liverpool Chelsea in the Premier League. Liverpool plus Chelsea. So yeah.
I would hope so, man. I hope so. And then, sorry to get distracted with Diego's. I would love to see that. I think that should have been a better final. Well, in terms of speaking, because I mean, I don't know if and they can do it, but I don't know how they're going to adapt without Connor there for next season because he's coming home. He's coming home. We can't just keep hogging them to like, no, he can't play against us, and it says a lot. It says a lot that no, this guy can be the difference maker for you guys, and we don't want to deal with that. And had Connor had played that game versus Chelsea yesterday,
that first half we would have been done in that imagine Jorginho loses the ball and Gallagher just picks up and runs with it. At first half, we would have been done already if Gallagher played. But luckily, it didn't. So, yeah. But, Diego, um, I just got to say, I expected a lot better. So, hopefully, if that is the final, you gotta play better. Your team needs to play better performance out there.
I just they just once they figure out that midfield situation. I mean, they're going to be in good hands with Vieira. I'm so
Yes,
glad that they have Vieira and not Arsenal because he's actually managing a proper team.
yes, he is actually good. But yeah, tell the people what you have got coming.
I'm probably going to do uh, a Arsenal Chelsea preview either today or tomorrow. That'll be posted before the game on Wednesday. Hanno, and it's an open invitation. And if you want to hop on to do a recording for the channel, just let me know. I'm always more than happy to welcome anyone just to talk about football. Um, and yeah, that's other than that, just if you want to follow my channel, it's right there, the At a Time Podcast. Same with Instagram, the At a Time Podcast. Twitter, the At a Time PC. Did not give me enough letters to write podcast stuff, but it's okay.
No, and yeah, I think this is all I'm going to upload today. But yeah, if you want to learn a bit of more knowledge, um, go check out the other side of the coin. Miz, he has a great brain, and all of the people on there are excellent. So yeah, um, and and yeah, and I think tomorrow I will be on Lucas' channel. It was early in the chat. Be on his channel, and then he will be on my channel. Also a lives where we preview the Arsenal game, and yeah, the and if any one of you in the chat, Diego, if you um want to come on or message me, can just put in the comment section on my videos or anything like that. Can just put a comment in or something like that, and we can chat if you want to come on. And yeah, that's all I have got. And yeah, the only problem is I got school, and the school begins of 7:30 to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So in that time, and then that is morning in your time. So that's the only problem, because then I will be in school and we'll probably do like a live video or something. So that's the only problem. But on the weekend, I'm available. So yeah. But
Hey, oh,
thank
sorry. Go
you.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I mean, you just let me know what times. If you ever want to have me on, just let me know. I told you, if it's early in the morning, like 4 in the morning here for me, I would gladly jump on the camera because, man, I'm telling you, I've learned more listening to when you talk about football, whether it through today or through Guni's channel, and it's just I'm dumbfounded of how much how knowledgeable you are about the game, and it's so yeah, man, it's been an honor, it's been a pleasure just to be part of your channel for today.
Oh, thank you very much, and thank you for everyone who joined us in the stream. Um, yeah, and I hope everyone has a good day further, and peace.